We're about to kick off 2026, and Samsung's Galaxy S26 series leaks just exploded. Official 2nm chipset news. Our first real-world look at full dummy units for the S26, S26 Plus, and S26 Ultra, plus a sobering release date reality check. Let's dive straight in. First up, design. Those certification database dummy units give us the clearest picture yet of how the entire S26 family will look in real life. The Galaxy S26 Ultra is now visually aligned with the standard S26 models in terms of rounded edges. It's a notable evolution from the boxier S24 Ultra, softened again with S25 Ultra, and now with S26 Ultra, the curvature closely matches the base phones. Think S21 Ultra vibes with a cleaner, more ergonomic silhouette. This is going to feel noticeably more comfortable in the hand. There's also a new camera island treatment that appears color-coordinated to the phone. On the white dummy, the island is silver. On the black dummy, it's blacked out. Subtle, premium, and cohesive. What really stands out, though, is how compact the Galaxy S26 Ultra looks despite still housing a full S Pen silo. That is serious engineering. A slimmer, more refined footprint with the pen on board deserves. Props. Now to the headline spec that Samsung just made official, the Exynos 2600. This is billed as the world's first 2nm smartphone chipset, slated for the Galaxy S26 and S26 Plus. Yes, Exynos has had a rocky reputation, but this looks like the comeback Samsung has been building toward. The core promise is sustained performance consistency under long, heavy workloads rather than only chasing short burst peak scores. Samsung is talking about up to 40% faster CPU and GPU performance versus Exynos 2500. Powered by a 10-core CPU on the latest V9.3 architecture, and a new thermal approach called Heat Path Block that uses a high-end composite material to move heat more efficiently. On paper, early numbers suggest parity with Snapdragon 8 Elite in traditional benchmarks. Where Exynos 2600 could pull ahead is in throttling resistance, keeping frame rates and responsiveness high over time. If the sustained performance claims hold, this might be the best mobile chip for prolonged high-load use. Cameras and video get a meaningful boost at the silicon level. The Exynos 2600's ISP is designed to capture up to 8,000 with HDR and introduces Samsung's new APV video codec, a direct challenge to Apple's ProRes for higher quality recording, fuller sensor readout, and more control in post-production. Pair that with DVNR, deep learning video noise reduction, to clean up low-light footage, and you're looking at Samsung's most serious video upgrade in years. Better yet, the ISP is claimed to use up to 50% less power than the previous gen, pushing efficiency gains across the board: longer shoots, less heat, and more reliable performance. Release timing next, and it's the reality check. The general public may be waiting until March 2026 to actually get the S26 phones in hand. Case makers often receive precise dummy units in advance, so accessories are ready at launch. And those dummies line up with what we're seeing here. An S Pen slot with a cap that visually blends into the phone's corner more seamlessly. And good news for travelers, a SIM tray still present. While some competitors are going eSIM only across the board, Samsung appears committed to keeping physical SIM flexibility. Charging is the other big question. 45W has been solid, but 60W fast charging would put Samsung in a stronger position in 2026. Multiple reports and wish lists point to a bump, and it would make a lot of users happier. On the wireless side, QI2 with magnetic alignment is the move. Pixel has its own magnet-friendly ecosystem. Apple has MagSafe, and accessories that snap and align are simply more convenient. Expectation is building for Samsung to adopt a Key 2 MagSafe-style magnetic ring for faster, more reliable wireless charging, and a broader accessory ecosystem. Display tech could see two notable upgrades. First, There's chatter about a hardware-level privacy barrier, a toggleable mode that narrows viewing angles, so people next to you can't peek. Traditional privacy screen protectors darken the display off-axis and usually make the screen look dimmer all the time. A built-in on-demand option will be far more practical if Samsung can deliver it. Second, that anti-reflective cover glass Samsung introduced recently has become a fan favorite because it dramatically cuts glare while staying crisp and legible under harsh light. It's one of the most underrated quality of life features and absolutely something we want to see return on. S26 camera hardware rumors are still evolving, but one consistent thread is a larger aperture, potentially on the selfie camera and maybe on the primary lens as well. A bigger aperture lets in more light, improving night shots and indoor performance while reducing noise and preserving detail. Pair that with the Exynos 2600's DVNR and HDR video pipeline, and you've got a recipe for cleaner low-light photos and more cinematic footage right out of the phone. Let's recap the biggest takeaways for the Galaxy S26, S26 Plus, and S26 Ultra. Design: rounder, more ergonomic frames across the lineup. S26 Ultra now closely matches the base models for in-hand comfort. New color match camera island for a sleeker look. A surprisingly compact Ultra despite the integrated S Pen chipset. Exynos 2600, 2 nanometers. Official for S26 and S26 Plus with a 10-core V9.3 CPU. Up to 40% CPU-GPU gains, heat path block thermal tech, and a focus on sustained performance that could beat rivals under continuous load. Video and ISP 8K HDR capture. A PV codec to rival ProRes, DVNR for cleaner low-light video, and up to 50% lower ISP power use. Samsung's biggest pro video push yet, charging and accessories. Strong demand and multiple reports for 60W wired charging. Key 2 magnetic alignment would unlock a MagSafe style accessory world and more reliable wireless charging. Practical features. Physical SIM tray remains for flexibility. Potential toggleable privacy mode. Anti-reflective display treatment to keep glare down and readability up. Cameras. Rumored larger apertures for better night and indoor shots. With an eye-driven noise reduction and HDR pipelines doing the heavy lifting behind the scenes. As for availability, plan on a reveal early in the year with broader public availability leaning toward March 2026. Cases and accessories are already lining up, which is always a strong sign that timelines are firming up behind the scenes. So, is 2026 the year Samsung finally flips the script? A more comfortable S26 Ultra that still packs an S Pen. The first 2 nanometers Exynos built for sustained speed. A serious leap in pro video with a PV and 8000 HDR. And smarter charging and display features. It all points to a flagship family that feels refined, powerful, and practical in everyday use. Do you think Samsung will push through with 60W charging and Key 2 magnets? Are you excited about the new video codec and low-light upgrades? Or more hyped about the design changes and that compact Ultra with an S Pen? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like if this helped. Subscribe for the latest Galaxy S26 updates and ring the bell so you don't miss the next leak. See you in the next one.